Huh? Wait, man. Wait. I'm watching the fight. Come on, Dillian. I got some bets on, man. Wait. Come on, Dillian. Come on. What? Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of A Dash of Sports, episode 19. I'll be your host and presenter, Dashiki Dash, and on this show is where I talk about all things sports related, hot topics and trending stories. And if you like the previous episodes, then come on, you should know by now. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and also that notification bell. Make sure that you press that. That way you don't miss out on any future episodes. And oh yeah, remember, sharing is caring. So, make sure you share this. Well, on today's show, I'm going to be heading straight down to the boxing ring as I start off with Dillian Whyte losing to Povetkin. Now, it doesn't seem like the 40-year-old Povetkin was on sticking to the script because he ended up knocking out Dillian Whyte to become the new WBC Diamond Champion, which also now means that he becomes the new #1 contender for the WBC title that Tyson Fury holds. So now, what does the future hold for Dillian Whyte? Because, boy, this is a backward step. And sticking with boxing, I'm going to be going through the final results from the final week 4 of the Matchroom Boxing Fight Camp, which served up the main event between Dillian Whyte and Povetkin. But there were also a load of other great fights on the card, so I'll be going through the results just in case you missed out. And moving on to the world of football, as the men's European tournaments finally came to an end this past week, with the likes of Bayern Munich beating PSG to win the Champions League for the 6th time in their club's history. And also the same for Sevilla, who ended up beating Inter Milan to win the Europa League for their 6th time in their club's history. So it's now the women who are fully represented in Europe as the Women's Champions League finally made its comeback this past weekend. So I'll be going through the results from the quarter-final rounds and also looking at the teams that have advanced to the semi-final. So more to be discussed on A Dash of Sports. I don't know what to say. Dillian Whyte's hopes of a world title shot were wrecked as Alexander Povetkin twice rose from the canvas to land a stunning knockout win. The Russian had been outboxed for 3 rounds and was down twice in the 4th as Whyte mixed skill with power. But just as Whyte appeared to be closing in on a shot at the WBC heavyweight title, Povetkin produced a devastating left uppercut in the 5th round. Now, I'm still baffed about this. I'm still baffed on how Dillian Whyte has lost this fight. You know, he showed his dominance, he had the fight under control, he's knocked Povetkin down twice. You're thinking to yourself, all right, here we go. Povetkin's going to slow down and Dillian Whyte is going to get onto him. But you need to understand, when it comes to boxing, experience does count for a lot as well. And a wily old boxer like Povetkin, 40 years old, you're looking at the age and you're thinking, maybe, you know, he's over the hill a bit. But he proved that, you know, age is nothing but a number. Now, it's going to be easy to be criticizing Dillian Whyte after that loss, and rightfully so, as we've been seeing since the fight, because when you fight at this elite level, there's no place to hide, especially for the, you know, it's high stakes, a lot on the line, #1 contender for the WBC, Tyson Fury's title. You've got to produce the goods. But, and this is a big but, I want to look at the positive first, because I do truly believe he did dominate the fight. At one point in time even, I felt like, you know, Povetkin's corner looked a bit worried, especially after the 2 knockdowns. If it went on another round, similar to how he was dominating, I wouldn't have been surprised if Povetkin's corner would have been like, you know what, either throwing in the towel or at least letting Povetkin know that, listen, at your age, maybe it's wise for you not to be taking this type of punishment. But at the same time, there was a lot on the line, the opportunity to once again to fight for a world title. So yeah, I doubt he would have been pulled out of the fight, but at some point, if Dillian Whyte was to continue to put on the pressure that it was, probably if he knocked him down again, that would have been it. But it's just a lapse of concentration. Small margins, small margins. Now this has been two devastating defeats that Dillian Whyte has suffered, because I'm now questioning Dillian Whyte's chin. Does he have the chin for the heavyweight division? Can he really take a shot? I've seen AJ take some massive shots. I've seen Tyson Fury take some massive shots. To be at that elite level, you're going to have to really dig deep. Now, on both occasions against AJ and now Povetkin, he's gone down hard. Like, you know, the AJ fight, he just went down on the ropes like a sack of fufu. And this one, he just went down like a sack of potatoes. It was, yeah, man, he got knocked out cold. Also, a lot will be said in regards to Dillian Whyte parting ways with Mark Tibbs, and also bringing in David Caldwell at a late stage. So, if it was a case that Dillian Whyte was struggling throughout the fight, then I would say those are valid reasons to you know, in terms of excuses and why he lost. But he was dominating. He was dominating. He was doing everything right up until the last second. Like I said, a lapse of concentration maybe, and he got clocked with an unbelievable uppercut from Povetkin. But there's so many things that you can think about in hindsight, whether or not these were good decisions. You know, obviously he was training out in Portugal. We heard that everything was going great. He had the opportunities to be able to have a really serious camp. He looked in great shape. But it just goes that way, you know. Heavyweight boxing, at any moment, anybody can get it. American, Mexican, Dominican, Jamaican, anybody can get it. I'm still sitting there thinking to myself, how did you lose that? You know when you got your hand on your cheek like that? How? But look, there's one thing about Dillian Whyte I would say is, he's definitely not a fighter that's going to have his tail tucked between his legs and running off. In fact, after the fight, he was dead focused. He was serious about the rematch and wanting to literally get back into the ring. I give him about 2 weeks of a break, and then you'll see him back in the ring training. And like I said, it was announced. It's not been announced yet, but as they're saying, it could be scheduled for December. So not too long to go. And if he wins, he puts himself back into the #1 contendership. But he's still going to have to wait for his time for the WBC belt. Now look, Dillian Whyte, he's still my guy, innit? He's still very much my guy. I'm still rooting for him. And I very much hope that he's going to be able to achieve his goal of becoming world champion. I still believe and feel that he will become world champion at some point, but it is going to be difficult, and he definitely needs to learn from this. I do believe that he's going to beat Povetkin in the second fight if he just handles himself properly, and just that lapse of concentration where it's just needed at the elite level, he's going to be able to beat him. But it just shows you the likes of Povetkin, even at 40 years old, he's still be able to pull it out of the bag. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I even messaged one of my boys and I was just like, you know, letting them know that there's going to be a rematch. And the first thing he said to me was just like, man, I ain't interested. And that's going to be that's the unfortunate thing right now. The momentum that he built up for himself, you know, a lot of people were kind of, you know, paying attention and be like, you know, this Dillian Whyte, he might not be, yeah, he might be the real deal. But now he's lost all that momentum. He's going to have to build that up again. And like I said, it's going to be another waiting game for him. And the likes of, you know, the Furies and AJ are definitely in pole position to make this fight happen for next year. So, but let me know what you think. What do you think is, you know, what is realistic for Dillian Whyte right now? Is he going to be able to beat Povetkin in the rematch? And if he does he stand a chance against the likes of AJ Fury? Maybe would have to fight, you know, Deontay Wilder? What's his chances? Let me know. Put your comments down below and let me know. So first and foremost, listen, give it up to Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, because the last 4 weeks has been absolutely amazing in regards to how they've brought boxing back. brought boxing back to the UK, the opportunity for us to watch and see fighters back in the ring, the opportunities for the fighters to be able to fight and earn their money is all down to Eddie Hearn. So listen, once again, thank you very much. And no better way, no better fitting way in how the last fight, the main event, ended with an absolutely devastating knockout punch from Povetkin, temporarily ending Dillian Whyte's title chase. But at the same time, there were some amazing fights on the card that easily contributed to another amazing night of boxing. Starting off with Jack Cullen versus Zach Chelli in the opening bout of Fight Camp Week 4, as Jack Cullen battled to a controversial split decision draw with Zach Chelli following a hard-fought encounter. Both super middleweights ended a grueling 10-round fight with facial damage, and the judges could not separate them, scoring it 97-93 to Chelli, 96-95 to Cullen, while the third tally was tied at 95-95. Nah, no fighter really wants to draw. In fact, a draw really, when you think about it, all the work, the hard work, the dedication, the amount of hours that you've put in the gym, road runs, everything, training hard, to just end up with a draw, it feels like a loss a bit. So maybe at some point they're going to be able to do it again, but I do feel it was a fair result because they both just battered each other. So they shouldn't really feel too hard done by. Hopefully they get another opportunity to do it again, and then they'll be able to right their wrongs. Now the next fight is the one that I was looking forward to, especially because of the pre-fight press conference and all the talking back and forth. The fight between Alen Babic and Shawndell Winters. Alen Babic backed up his prediction of an early KO as he blasted aside Shawndell Winters in the second round, as the Croatian heavyweight extended an explosive start to his professional career. Babic, nicknamed the Savage, is yet to progress in the third round in 4 professional bouts, and he dropped Winters twice before the fight was waved off. And the next fight after that I was looking forward to was between Luther Clay and Chris Kongo. I've been following Chris Kongo on the social, so I knew that this fight was going to have a bit of edge to it, as both fighters have been biting at each other, saying they're going to be doing this and doing that. So I knew by the time it gets to week 4 fight camp, it was going to go down. Chris Kongo clinically dispatched Luther Clay in the 9th round of their WBO Global Welterweight title battle at Fight Camp. Kongo, who is managed by the event's headliner Dillian Whyte, unleashed a flurry of punches that knocked Clay down and brought about the end of the fight. The Bermondsey man took full advantage of his opportunity on the big stage, extending his unbeaten record to 12-0 with 7 knockouts. So it was very impressive. In the pre-fight press conference, Chris Kongo was saying that, you know, once he gets into his full flow and he's feeling relaxed, there's nobody that can stop him. And he definitely showed a killer instinct in terms of, once Luther Clay was hurt, he was all over him, and by the 9th, the fight was done. And no event is complete without having the women involved as well, as the next fight was, for me, this was the co-main event between Katie Taylor and Delphine Persoon. Katie Taylor retained her undisputed lightweight world title with a unanimous decision win over Delphine Persoon, as their highly anticipated rematch produced another brutal battle. The Irish star Taylor, who is 16-0 with 6 knockouts, had narrowly defeated Persoon on points in their first fight. A decision which was hotly disputed by Taylor received a wider verdict in the return bout, with scores of 98-93, 96-94 and 96-94 to Katie Taylor. It was definitely a fight that, like I said, on this occasion it was a wider margin, but even Katie Taylor felt it for herself, because Delphine Persoon was relentless. She kept coming forward, she wouldn't stop, and Katie Taylor had to work for that. But all in all, she retains her title and still the undisputed lightweight champion. So first and foremost, let me know, the final week of Fight Camp, week 4, which of those fights on the card was your favorite fight? You can obviously choose more than one. There's no rules. And that's also including Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin and all the other fights on the card. Which one was your favorite fight? And then going on to the whole entire Fight Camp from week 1 to week 4. Was there any outstanding fights? Also, how did you feel about the structure of everything? No fans, no crowd. Did it still live up to to the hype? Were the fights still enjoyable? All the things. Just write all your comments down below. Give me your feedback. And also, would you want to see something like this again? Hopefully, you know, by the time next year or so, we'll be able to get some fans going back into arenas and stadium. So it could make a major difference. But would you want to see another fight camp again? Hey, put your comments down below and let me know. Do you know what? I was just about to say, finally, we've drawn a line underneath the season that's just gone. This 2019-2020 season has officially been the longest season to date. Like, it's been a drag. It's been a drag. But then I remembered, hold on a second, we're not done yet. The show must continue. The Women's Champions League has not been completed yet, so we're still waiting on the final. But when it comes to the men's, the curtain call events, which is the Europa League and the Champions League final, usually signifies the ending of the football season. Starting off with Sevilla, who beat Inter Milan in a thrilling final to win their 6th Europa League title, as Diego Carlos' overhead kick deflected in off Romelu Lukaku 16 minutes from time to beat Inter Milan 3-2. Now, I feel sorry for Lukaku because during that game he actually scored to even equal Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, his record of 34 goals in one season. In fact, Ronaldo also set that record in the UEFA League final against Lazio, Inter Milan beating Lazio 3-0. So you would have thought, you know, some type of history will be repeating itself in regards to Inter Milan winning a European title, but unfortunately enough, it didn't work out that way. And Sevilla, who are notorious Europa League champions, won their 6th title. And just remember, one man's heartbreak and pain is another man's joy and happiness. Well, I definitely felt happy for Dillian Whyte, the Seville manager, who burst into tears after beating Inter Milan, as 2 years of pain came to an end following sackings by Spain and Real Madrid in 2018. He must have been at the lowest of the lowest points as a manager, even maybe just as a man in general, because after what essentially was his sacking by Spain just before he's about to take them to a major tournament, well, it's his own fault really, because he's thinking to himself, okay, I'm getting the Real Madrid job, I might have to jump ship before. Once they caught wind of that, they were like, listen, you're not going to be here playing games with us. Gone, sacked. So I do believe he got sacked, but then he goes into the Real Madrid job and then he gets sacked there as well. So it's just like, man, you couldn't catch a break. But it was good to see the fact that he was able to finally put all that behind him and prove to himself that he's a worthy manager, prove that, you know, he can get a title for Sevilla and continue the tradition of this Europa League, this love affair between Sevilla and this Europa League, from Unai Emery to now Dillian Whyte. Bring on next season. They're probably going to win their 7th. And then moving on to the Champions League final, where Hans-Dieter Flick guided Bayern Munich to a final, beating Neymar and co. PSG losing 1-0 to a goal from a former player, Kingsley Coman, which set Bayern Munich to win their 6th Champions League title, and their last one being in 2013. Neymar and Mbappe, they did the best that they can do for PSG, but in the end, the best wasn't good enough. And you got to turn up for these games if you want to be part of the, you know, the world-class conversation. If you want to push for that elite status, you've got to turn up for these games. Once you get into the final, you've got to win it. But unfortunately, on this occasion, it's not happened. I don't know for Neymar if he's going to get this opportunity again. With Mbappe's age and how young he is, he possibly could get into another final. But he's got to move. Like, he's got to move clubs. He can't be staying at PSG. I don't... As much as I do rate these players, being at PSG and playing in the Farmers League, it's not really going to do it for me. Until they move, until they're able to go to maybe Spain. I can see Mbappe maybe moving to Real Madrid. If it wasn't for this COVID-19 business, I probably could see Neymar heading back to Barcelona. But until they move to a big league, they're just still going to have this whole notion of, like, you know, they're playing in France. It's not really much competition there. Yes, they're doing well in Champions League, but week in, week out, their bread and butter is ultimately maybe the difference between winning the Champions League and not. If you're playing against lesser sides in your league and the competition isn't as strong, by the time you get to the likes of Bayern Munich and other teams across Europe, you could somewhat struggle. And then what can I say about Bayern Munich? Oh, they've absolutely been amazing. There was a load of talk about Liverpool being the best team in Europe. Obviously, they've done amazing themselves previous year, winning the Champions League, how they've won the Premier League this season. So, there was a lot of talk about Liverpool being the best, but nah, Bayern Munich throughout this season, they have been absolutely amazing with that high press, with the balance of the team, whether it be, speed, power, skill. They've had it all. Goalkeeper, defense, midfield, Lewandowski at the top. You've got the likes of Serge Gnabry. You've got, Thiago. You've got Muller. You've got all these players that have literally contributed to Bayern Munich's success. And now they're going to be adding Leroy Sané to the mix. Mad. Absolutely mad. Last but not least, I'm going to have to big up Kingsley Coman, because sometimes other players, though, the more name brand players will get all the limelight, but not all heroes wear capes. You know that saying. And there are some unsung heroes that need to get their mentions, and Kingsley Coman is one definitely that really needs a shout out. 24 years old, and he is trophy laden. The amount of trophies that this man's got is mad. Just starting off at PSG, he's got 2 league earned trophies. He's also got the Coupe de la Ligue, which is like the equivalent of the League Cup. He's also got the Trophée des Champions, which is like their Community Shield. Then you go to Juventus. He's won 2 Serie A titles. He's got Coppa Italia. He's got the Supercoppa d'Italiana. And then in Bayern Munich, he's got 5 Bundesliga titles. Then he's got 3 DFB Pokal titles. He's got the DFL Super Cup. That's 3 of those that he's got. And then he's got the Champions League. Finally got his hands on the Champions League, which is just amazing. All of this at the age of 24. Who else is as young as that and he's got just mad lineup of trophies? I think it's Varane at Real Madrid. He's got X amount of trophies there. A load of Champions League as well. So you gotta give these people their limelight, their spotlight, should I say. You gotta give them their spotlight so that they can shine, because hey, it's so easy to point out the Lewandowskis, and even he just won his first Champions League after losing in 2013 to when he was at Dortmund at that time, and it was against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich winning 2-1. And also to know that you got the winning goal that is responsible for Bayern Munich, your team, to win the Champions League, that is going to stay with you for the rest of your career. You can literally just be like, you know what, I'm done now. But hey, all the best to him. He's a major talent, and all I can just see is the, just pure success in his career from here on out. And he'll probably go to another team and then end up winning more trophies. And hold on a second, what about Coutinho? Philippe Coutinho, after years on years that he's been ridiculed about, leaving Liverpool, and then when Liverpool won the Champions League, obviously it's off the back of his sale and the money that they put back into the team to buy the likes of Van Dijk and the goalkeeper, Alisson. So now he's finally got himself a Champions League, but in such weird circumstances, because he was sold to Barcelona. He's been shipped out on loan, goes to Bayern Munich. Barcelona have been shagging this season and flopped, got battered by Bayern Munich 8-2, which is the game that Coutinho scored 2 goals in. Coutinho gets to the final, comes on, plays a little small cameo, and gets himself a Champions League winner's medal. Now he's going to be going back to the new camp. So all in all, the Champions League and the Europa League, since it's made its way back after the the lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown, how has it been for teams? How fair has it been? Because I saw something where it just showed a breakdown of the amount of games teams were playing coming off the lockdown. So, you know, you had teams like PSG who their season was done. They locked off their season from early and weren't playing no games, and they had ample amount of time to rest, recharge their batteries, and then kick on again with the Champions League. Then you had teams in England like Man City who literally played up all their games, playing at least twice a week, playing up right to the, you know, the last moment, and still continuing on with the Champions League. So was it fair? Especially as well, it was the whole knockout stage from the quarterfinals. There was a knockout stage, so the opportunity to be able to play home and away to strategically trying to advance into the competition, but all of a sudden now it's just knockout. So I don't know, what is your take and how did you feel about this knockout situation? So let me know what you think. Post lockdown of the European competitions, how has it been? Has it been one that is legit? Yeah, because we finished it, so it is legit, but under these circumstances, how do you really feel about it? So like I said, we can't draw the line underneath this season, can't do it until everybody has done what they needed to do. 2019-2020 has to finish until everybody's done. So male, female. And currently now the women are playing in the Champions League and it's at the semi-final stage. But before I get into it, it's gonna sound like I'm moaning, and you heard how I felt about the women's game, whether it be football, any women's sports, and just the lack of, come on, like, this is the Champions League for women, all right? Regardless, it's European football, it's Champions League football for women, but the advertising and the push and the, you know, it's just sad. It's sad. I'm really passionate about this because I just feel like it needs to be equal. Give women the chance to be able to showcase what they got as well. You know, like, advertise it, push it, put it out there. If there was any time to really campaign and really try and get people interested in the women's game, it's now, where people are hungry for sports, like regardless of who's playing, we're hungry for sports. So it would be good to know that, yes, Champions League football, women's Champions League football is on this day, like, you know, get us excited about it. It can't just be a case where you just I found out about it on social media, and it was just like, okay, yeah, a little bit here and there. I don't know. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But sometimes it's just down to the individual as well. Go and source out the information for yourself, and hopefully with that, you know, with the likes of a platform that I've got here, I can best advertise it and push it in my own way, that people understand that yes, women are playing football as well. And I'm glad to see that football's back for women. It just gives them the opportunity to do what they love doing. No different to men, you know, men, women, we all love the game, so we want to play it and gain the opportunity to play football. So last week, Friday and Saturday, we saw the Women's Champions League return. Starting off with Friday's matches, Glasgow City versus Wolfsburg, which ended 9-1 to Wolfsburg, followed by Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona, which ended 1-0 to Barcelona. And then on Saturday, Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain, with PSG advancing to the semi-final, beating Arsenal 2-1, and Lyon beating Bayern Munich 2-1, taking them to the semi-final. And in the semi-final, we're going to be seeing Wolfsburg versus Barcelona, and in the following match, an all-French affair, Paris Saint-Germain versus Lyon. So the final is going to be played out on Sunday, and by then, the day before, it's going to be the Community Shield in England. So this is actually crazy, because if you think about it, we're just literally rolling over into the next season. There is no respite. So more football coming up. So literally a week's gap, and then the new season is going to be starting over again. But let me know how you feel about the whole entire season itself. If there was stuff that you did like or you didn't like post lockdown. Let me know how you felt about the season, whether it's good or bad, anything. Just put your comments down below and let me know. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching yet another episode of A Dash of Sports. I truly appreciate your love and support. I really do. And if you need further information about future episodes or just your day-to-day sporting updates, please head over to my Instagram page, and I'm also on Twitter, which is @sports. I'll put it down below here, @sports. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I truly do appreciate all your comments. And until the next time, here on @sports, peace.